Hello and welcome back to another Jeff Comics opening for Magic the Gathering. We have episode 2, or video 2 of our Edge of Eternity Play Booster boxes. We'll get right into it here. We have another 30 packs. If you missed the first video, go check that out if you're interested in a deeper dive of the mechanics of the set and going over a lot of the new cards in more detail. That's a longer video that should be up already on the Jeff Comics YouTube channel. But this video will be just more of a opening, checking out some cool cards, checking out what stuff you guys would be able to purchase in-store or online at jeffcomics.com, jeffcomics.tcgplayerpro.com if you want to see the, are these going to be hard to open too? They might be. Any of these cards will be available for purchase either in-store or online upon release. So make sure to check us out if you're interested in any of them. Hopefully we get some great hits. We had a pretty good box one, I will say. So we are definitely looking forward to hopefully some great stuff. And we do have Zoo Ifit, the Osteoharmonist. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton. We did get this one in box one, I believe. It has no abilities, but I mean, a 3-mana 2/3 can get you a just vanilla, say like 4/4 back from grave, especially in like limited. Pretty great. All right, not too shabby. So far, the set has been a lot of fun to open. And we have a lot of cool stuff that's entering all the formats with this. I love the space theme, especially. Ooh, and we have a Genomorph Imago. It does have the legendary crown on there. It is not a legendary creature, but a cool card nonetheless. Landfall gives you a creature base power toughness 3/3. If you have more than 6 lands, creature gets base power toughness 6/6 until end of turn instead. Pretty great for a 2-drop. Next up, if there's anything that you're missing in these videos, feel free to let us know. If you want deeper dives, if you want more boxes, less boxes in particular videos, let us know how you would like to see these happen in the future. We have Extinguisher Battleship here, an 8-mana 10/10. Once you get to Station 5, that when it ETBs, it deals 4 damage to each creature, especially in colorless decks. I think this is going to be a great include. Especially because you can loop the ETB with link effects. So at 8 mana, a little board wipe in colorless, definitely gonna fit into a number of decks there. Very cool. Let's see here. Lost in Space. I don't know that we've taken a look at that art yet, but that is quite lovely. We have, a Pain for All. I know this is one of the cards that I had flagged when they revealed it, just because the effect seems pretty solid. So it's a 3-mana aura that enchants a creature you control. When it ETBs, enchanted creature, when this aura enters, enchanted creature deals damage equal to its power to any other target. And then the somewhat more interesting part. So it does a little bit of a fling effect, but without the sack. But it also has, whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. So say you have this out and have a Blasphemous Act in hand, you're going to have it deal 13 damage to the creature. That 13 damage is dealt to every single one of your opponents, not yourself. Honestly, a little piece of tech here that I feel could fit into a number of mono red decks, or even some just general ping type effect decks. Say you have like a Pyrohemia in your EDH deck. You can pay a red to deal a damage to each of your creatures. Once that damage hits the creature that aura is attached to, deals that damage. Great effect. But we have our first one of the Stellar Sites. We have the Strip Mine. Non-foil, but Strip Mine is definitely one of the bigger hits from the Stellar Sites, apart from like your Eldrazi Temples, Ancient Tombs. There's a few others. Not Cascading Cataracts. Gemstone Caverns. Lots of playable stuff in here. And speaking of playable, we have a Loading Zone, which is your I still can't remember. It's enhanced biomancy or something like that. I can find out for you. It is branching evolution. It is a very similar effect for 3 mana. It doesn't have warp on it, but it doubles any of your counters that will be put on creatures, spacecrafts, or planets. So branching evolution is just +1/+1s, but this is any counter. So very, very solid effects. I do like my green included decks that care about +1/+1 counters, and maybe, just maybe, with all these spacecraft and stuff coming out, we'll be seeing some of those slot in, and it'll be nice to have those effects on there as well. And we have, an Exalted Sunborn. We're getting back-to-back hits with the, I believe that was also a mythic for our last one. Let me just double check here. Nope, that was just a rare. But slightly similar effects with a warp and being able to do a somewhat doubling season type effect. This one is the token side of it. So it's a 5 mana flying lifelink 4/5 with warp 2. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice as many tokens are created instead. So a little bit more of an anointed procession because it's in white, or maybe like a Mondrak type effect because it is creature based instead of just an enchantment. But a great card and stellar art, not a stellar sights art, but stellar art nonetheless from Scott Fisher. Been around in Magic for quite a long time and has created a number of great pieces, that definitely being one of them. Some of these packs are a little easier to open than others, and feels just a little bit inconsistent between packs here, but that's not really a problem. Let's see what we've got here. I do really like the art on Gravkill. I know I've seen it a couple times at this point, but just the black hole and the hole through the person already. Very, very sick art. Ooh, that too. And we have ourselves next a Stelly Reclaimer. When ETBs return target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the field, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast a spell. So when you warp it for 3, you get a 3-drop or less. When you cast it from exile or just straight up cast it for 5, you get a 5 or less instead. Nice. We have a common and just a regular border basic land. Ooh, got a little something peeking out there. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Magus of the Moon. All right, we got our first special guest of the box. In our first box, we did get one. I believe we got the Green Sun Zenith. So this time getting a Magus of the Moon. All non-basic lands are mountains while this creature is on the field. It's a 3-mana 2/2 in red. Definitely a card for mono red decks. Definitely a card. Very nice little hit there. And, ooh, we might have something else on top here. A Lightstall Inquisitor. Not too shabby. Just a Survey Mechan. Oh, but we do have our first foil full art island. I will say I do like the plains quite a bit more, but this island is very sick. I'd be interested to see what the Galaxy foils look like, to see how well that pops with some of the darkness on the art there. Might be a little bit harder to see, but who knows with the white of the clouds. Ooh. A little something here. Maybe it could pop very nicely. We'll see. Maybe we'll open some in our collector boosters. We have a Corral of the Void. I believe we ended our first box with one of these. And, ooh, Zuifit again, but this time in the full art foil. Very nice. Pops pretty nice there. Once you get the light to hit it in just the right way, get those little reflections on the skeletons out in front. That's neat. Oh, and there's my favorite planes. I mean, I might need to buy a whole boatload of these and have them signed by Adam Podcat because these are stunning. They look better in foil for sure, but hey, we can't complain. Alright, let's see what we got for our next pack here. Ooh, an Emissary Escort. Just a little pump creature based on your number of artifact or greatest power. mana value, rather, of artifacts you control. Which, you know, for a 2-drop, I guess isn't too bad, but you'd almost rather have a Construct in most of your artifact decks as opposed to that. But, you know, we'll take a... Ooh! And we will also take this. We have ourselves a Watery Grave. Probably one of the better options that you can get out of the Shocklands, and especially in the full art, like, spaceship cockpit lands. I mean, you just got this... actually, I believe they say what we've got here. So that looks to me like a Monoist on their little included sheet from the box. A Monoist looking out from their spaceship into the cosmos, and that is lovely. I would love to see what these look like in Galaxy Foil, because I know those are available. Oh, whoa! That's an incredible pack, honestly. Sometimes you go just packs and packs with nothing, and then you just get back-to-back nice art Watery Grave into, I believe, the biggest hit of the set. This is the Tezzeret Cruel Captain, a 3-drop Planeswalker with whenever an artifact you control enters, put a loyalty counter on Tezzeret. Can be your treasures from your Smothering Tithe, can be foods, can be actual artifacts like, I don't know, the Survey Mechan that we saw earlier. Any artifact enters, you put a loyalty counter on it, and then a -7 gets you a emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0. So you can get that emblem multiple times if you just keep dumping artifacts out and can activate on multiple turns. But it also has a little tutor on it for a -3 for an artifact with mana value 1 or less to hand. Very, very, very solid hit. That was a great pack. Alright, our rare for the next one, Memorial Vault. We have seen a couple times. I don't know that I've really taken a look at this Plains before. Has those same kinds of clouds, but not quite to the level of the full art. Very neat nonetheless. I'll actually take 2 seconds just to pull up some of the pricing for this set, just to see, at least pre-release pricing, of what are the big hits for us again. Just so we know roundabouts of what we're looking at here. Alright. I don't think we've gotten any of the planets yet. The real big hits. We have a 0-point ballad. You got yourself a little kind of Toxic Deluge, but only destroy and you lose the X life. But it also has a reanimate if the X is 6 or more. So, not too shabby. But yeah, those planets at Mythic, I don't know that we've seen any of yet. Although, no, maybe we got an Evendo in box 1. I can't recall offhand, but we do have a Frenzy Bailoff here. I do feel like the Uthros, Titanic God Core, essentially the Tolarian Academy, and the Evendo Waking Haven. The, ooh, whoa, big pack. Those 2 lands are going to go for quite a lot in the near future. But we do have actually our first planet here. This is the white one. Out of all of them, I think this is maybe the 3rd best, maybe 4th. I think the black one has some play, but being able to create tokens and stuff like, I actually even have one right next to me, a like Geared Mirror of the Wilds. If you can make a token, you know, at instant speed, or rather at sorcery speed on a turn. Oh, but it's legendary. So maybe it doesn't completely go crazy with Geared, but a lot of decks will take even just 1 extra copy of an artifact or enchantment that you control. So that is very awesome. And then behind it, we did see a little bit early, the Eternity Elevator. 5 mana, add 3 mana artifacts. Already pretty great. Thran Dynamo is a 4-drop that adds 3. But with Station 20+, you add X mana of any one color where X is the number of charge counters on the Eternity Elevator. I feel like almost half my decks that are running Thran Dynamo currently could either also run the Eternity Elevator or run the Eternity Elevator instead. This is a great card for sure. Oh, and a little full art forest. Man, back-to-back good packs. Maybe we got some luck rolling. I'd love to see maybe a Dominion bracelets for some other big hits. And just a little Pinnacle Star Cage. Not too crazy. I did take a look at it, I think, slightly in the first video. When it enters, you exile all artifacts creatures, mana value 2 or less, until this artifact leaves. At 6, you put each card exiled with this artifact into its owner's graveyard. Create a 2/2 artifact for each card put into the graveyard this way, and sack it. It's a lot to be able to do. I don't see it being played that much unless you're in like a very, very big mana white deck that maybe cares about a lot of I don't even know. Because like if you're a tokens deck, you already want to have those little 2/2s. We have ourselves a hive pool. Speaking of actual little 1/1s that you could have that would have to be sacked to the Star Cage to get it to work, but then they're not an exile to get you 2/2s back. So I don't know about the Star Cage, but the Thrumming Hive pool for your slivers, giving them double strike and haste, making 2 of them at your upkeep, and its affinity for slivers. This is going to go in every sliver deck, and it's a great add for sure. Ooh, and we also have another rare. Sledge Class Siege Ship. Say that 5 times fast. It's a 3 mana that at station 7+ will get flying when it attacks. You return a creature card. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. I don't know. The cost is a little high. I could see it in some decks, but in a lot of them, if you already have enough to be able to crew for or station for 7, you probably have the mana to be able to put out creatures, but I guess if you're super big mana, it's a 3-drop that you can station for 7 with not a ton. I think in maybe limited it's good, but once you get into more constructed formats, I don't know that's going to see that much play. That'll see some play, though. That's a Blast Zone. Put the charge counters on it with 2x and enters with 1 on it by default. You can 3-tap sack it, destroy each online permanent with the exact mana value of the charge counters on it. Great card. Seen it in play for ages, especially in Commander. Love those little playable cards that we get. All those lands being reprints. There's a few that don't hit. Dog. But there's quite a few that are really, really great reprints. This is another one that I'm not huge on yet, but maybe if you're really discard heavy, it could work. The Quantum Riddler, 5 mana, 4/6 with flying, ETBs draw a card as long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. If you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many +1 instead. It's like for flubs, maybe it's good, but it's a 5-drop, and I don't know. I want a little bit more out of my card draw when it's going to be 5 mana and stable to a creature. But, I don't know. I could be proven wrong for sure. If you're playing a lot of spells, just dumping stuff out, maybe for the, maybe we'll even see it, the 1 mono blue legendary creature that cares about your artifacts being able to tap and gives you kind of a future sight effect. Maybe you can just play like Cheerios with that. Just dump out a whole lot of stuff and consistently have 1 or less lands in hand. Ooh, whoa. That is really sweet art. Arch Enemy's Charm. Staring right through your soul. A little medallion in a hand with an eyeball on it. That is really cool. Peter Diamond, huh? That is lovely. Oh, and the smoke's kind of coming out of like 3 gemstones around the edge. And the hand's like kind of made of fire. Ooh. That is a beautiful looking card. I believe we did see one of these in the regular art in our first video. You got your Archmage's Charm. Now you got your Arch Enemy's Charm. The mono blue version from before. Now a fully mono black version for 3 black. Black does have ways to be able to get extra black mana. You Dark Ritual into that, and that could do some work for you, for sure. Another black card that's pretty good. Sunset Saboteur. Ward, discard cards, Menace 4/1. I mean, already pretty solid. Does have itself a drawback, though. When it attacks, put a +1/+1 on target creature and opponent controls. If they don't have any creatures, though, you don't have to put the counter. So Unlimited definitely could be a hit. Your Menace 4/1, if they only have even 1 creature, you don't really care about it being bigger, and you're just smacking for 4 when you're only needing 20 life. feel like in pre-release or any kind of sealed, that little 2-drop will do some work for you. This probably won't, though. One of the Manlands. These are the smaller hits from the Stellar Sights. Land just tapped, gives you the 2 colors. You can pay 3 and make it into a 2/2. That gets +X/+O if you pay X. But it's a lot to go into mana-wise to get it, but this is nuts. This is your Quarry Steel Cutter in white, but not quite as good. Cast your second spell each turn, choose 1. You make either 2 1/1s, or you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So that's playable for sure. Cosmogran Zenith. I'm not too familiar with the standard metagame to be able to tell you if Boros would be able to shift over into that or not. Ooh! But, I mean, who cares, right? We got a Thespian stage. This Thespian stage looks very sweet. Got everyone watching in the audience. A little show among the cosmos. Those starships are getting a little close there. I don't know. But no, that's a very lovely card. And very playable in a lot of formats. And so will this be. Your Starfield Vocalist gives you the Elish Norn trigger of ETBs getting triggered an additional time for a warp, this time in blue. I do know there's a super fancy version of that available in the collector boosters that just looks insane. I think it's one of the Japanese artists for the anime art version. They can get even like a fractured foil or whatever they call it. That one looks lovely. The Surima. When it ETBs, you get to tutor a legendary creature to hand. And then you can station it for 7. Flying 5/5 then. It's only a 3-drop. And other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. A little bit interesting here. Oh, no, I guess it's not really a misprint. It's just a little bit light underneath that 7 compared to some of the others. Oh, maybe it is. Hold on. Let me take a look here. I'm going to set that down for a second and see if I can find another one of the colorless ones like the... which one was it? The Eternity Elevator would have been colorless as well. It looks like that one is maybe a little misprinted with missing some ink underneath. Underneath the station numbers and power toughness. I know we'll be able to find it quick. If not, we'll just move on, but... No, thrumming. It should be in here, I believe. And there it is. Okay, Eternity Elevator. Yeah, see? There's a difference between... Well, I guess this is in white, so maybe it's not exactly the same, but... Just underneath that 7, it's not darkened as much as that. And same with the 5/5 there. Almost looks like they ran out of black ink a tiny, tiny bit there. I don't know that that's a true misprint or anything like that. But, you know, if it is, maybe see if it's available at Jeff Comics. It's jeffcomics.tcgplayerpro.com for the store directly, or you can check us out in person. If you like cards that are maybe slightly misinked, if that means anything to you, check it out. See if it's available at pre-release. Should be getting these up on the site right around when you guys are seeing this video, so it might be available, might not. Hardlight Contaminants, a 1-mana aura that enchants an artifact you control. And then it ETBs, exiles a target creature and opponent controls until this aura leaves, and the enchanted permanent has ward 1, so you kind of, you know, you can slap that on a 1-ring and make it real hard to interact with, but, you know, nice little effect. Got ourselves a lovely island again. It's kind of like a snowflake shape with the symmetrical kind of like port doors that stretch out. I don't know, like a little spaceship there. That's cool. Weapons manufacturing, not too crazy. Of course, I say that, and then it's going to wind up being insane in some format. Down to our last 3 packs here for this video. Of course, we do have 2 more of the Play Booster boxes coming up for you, as well as 1 Collector Booster box. And we have a lovely little card that I love for my plus and plus counter decks, Terra Symbiosis, a 3-drop. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature you control, you draw that many cards. Do it only once each turn, but you can choose which time you're putting the counters on in any specific turn. So if you get like a single +1/+1 counter in your upkeep, and you know you're going to be able to get 5 more at some other point in the turn, you can delay it until you get your 5 and then draw the 5, which is great for sure. I know when I get my stuff, I'm hoping to get Terra Symbiosis, the other... Ooh, Sacred Foundry, and Requiem Monolith. A Terra Symbiosis and the other 2 big rares and mythics that care about +1/+1 counters, and they're all going to go into a single deck for sure, because +1/+1 counters are a lot of fun to play with. And they always get some good action, just like Infinite Guideline Station does. The 5-color rare spacecraft. ETBs, you create a 2/2 for each multicolor permanent you control. And at 12+, whenever this guy attacks at a 7/15, just attacks, doesn't have to deal damage. You draw a card for each multicolor permanent you control. Very nice in, say, your Niv Mizzets, the Guild Pact type decks where you're already going to be playing a lot of multicolor spells. Yeah, that's a great box. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. If you want to see more, check out more at jeffcomics.com. This YouTube channel if you want to see more of our videos for this and any other TCGs that we support. Support your local game store. Check us out online. Get your singles either in store or online. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.